Hello, and welcome to this episode of Berkshire Now News Magazine, where we explore news and views from around the Berkshires. On August 26th, there was a major water main break at the corner of Dalton Avenue and Hubbard Avenue. We were able to gain access to the scene to provide the following footage. Okay, Commissioner, what is going on here?
We have a major break in our transmission line coming from the Cleveland Reservoir for the drinking water supply for the city. We had a leak, minor break that happened last week, and we were in the process of fixing that, and now we have to replace the line, a segment of line, which we have the material in hand ready for this. We're asking that we're going to have a shutdown, water shutdown, and we're going to get on that soon after.
Any idea when this will be back to normal?
Hopefully within the next 24 to 36 hours.
A worker on the project, who wishes to remain anonymous, explained a little bit about what happened. Now, is there a valve that they're going to turn somewhere upstream?
Yeah, some, I'm not sure exactly where.
Wow. How many PSI do you think that is?
About 180.
180 PSI.
Oh yes, it's a 2-foot main. It's the main feed that feeds these water tanks. So I'm sure you're gonna have a bunch of houses and businesses out of water today.
Oh yes. So it's 180 PSI on a 2-foot water main. That is enormous.
Enormous.
It's going to drain that tank up there on Victory Hill in no time.
Well, it actually goes to the pump stations down up, so it ain't even getting to that point yet. I can't move that truck. Maybe I can move it now. There's too many rocks flying around. I'm sure this is triggering a ton of fire alarms.
Oh, low pressure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On August 28th, the Boston Symphony Orchestra conducted a virtual concert at the Pittsfield Common. Tanglewood in the City, as it was called, was sponsored by Milltown Capital. I asked Carrie Holland, the managing director of Milltown, what it was like to sponsor such a prestigious event.
We reached out to the BSO about a year ago, about a year and a half ago actually, interested in collaborating with them to do some Pittsfield programming and bring their world-class musical arts and culture into Pittsfield to connect with a Pittsfield audience. So last year we worked with the BSO to produce Tanglewood in the City in the Pittsfield Common for the first time. And that was really in an effort to create a more accessible environment for a lot of the Pittsfield community to get to experience Tanglewood. And this year, of course, under different circumstances, we really wanted to continue that accessibility and outreach with Tanglewood. So we figured out how to do this under the restrictions of COVID. And really, we're also seeing this as a community morale boost. It's been a tough summer and probably a tough fall and winter. So we're just looking forward to sharing a nice day of music with Pittsfield.
Tell us a little bit about what it's like to work with Milltown and what it's like to present this here in Pittsfield instead of in Tanglewood.
Sure. Well, we've known for a while that it was important for Tanglewood and the BSO to not expect everyone to come to us, but to go out in the community and be there and get to meet people where they were at. And we found a great partnership in working with Milltown Capital because they understood that, how important that was, and they were not only supportive financially to make this happen, but in terms of helping to promote it, helping to partner with the city of Pittsfield, and all the logistics to make this go smoothly and to get people here and able to enjoy it.
It's a wonderful event. What do you see the future looking like for the next season?
I wish I knew. We all are trying to look in crystal balls, and as I've never heard the expression, we have no playbook, more than I have in the last several days, weeks, and months. But we're hoping to continue to find ways like this to bring music to people because we know how important it is now more than ever, and we want to keep that alive.
In other news, the Pittsfield Community Development Board approved the development of a homeless shelter at First United Methodist Church on Fenn Street. ServiceNet and the church will turn the classroom wing into a 36-bedroom shelter. Pastor Ralph Howe tells us how the project is coming along. Pastor Howe, could you tell us a little bit about what's about to happen here in terms of a homeless shelter?
Well, after several years of working on this project, ServiceNet will be able to open up its new homeless shelter in what was our education wing of the church building. This building has been here, part of it, since 1874, but the education wing was built in 1955 when there were hundreds and hundreds of kids going to Sunday school. And we don't use that much of the space, and we need our building to help pay for itself. So we entered into conversations with ServiceNet and believe that this is a project that will really benefit them. We have 2 floors with a hall down one side and rooms on the side of that, which connect with one another. And so ServiceNet liked the arrangement and thought it would be an improvement over what they've been using at Barton's Crossing. And so we began the process with the architects and that sort of thing. That led us to looking for funding, and Adam Hines was able to procure a couple $100,000 from the supplemental budget last December at the Commonwealth. The city has come up with $100,000, and they're still looking for a little more money to complete the project, but it's very economical for ServiceNet to do this. And their rent will be about what they're currently paying. It'll be good for us, but within their very limited budget. So they will have a dormitory room it's actually 2 rooms for up to 12 women, and then a dormitory room, 2 dormitory rooms for men, which can house as many as 18 men. They'll all new bathrooms and showers, a laundry room, and community rooms. We already have elevator and handicap access door, so they don't have to pay for that. So we're very happy about that. And then we have a commercial grade kitchen and dining room, which they will use for the meals that they serve, which is breakfast and dinner. And that will blend in with our food ministries in the community to serve people who need food.
So 18 men and 12 women is 30 people. Are there that many homeless in Pittsfield?
Actually, it's potentially up to 38. I guess I miscalculated the numbers. Up to 38 beds, yes. ServiceNet runs a program where people sign up and they're admitted to the program for 60 days. And then ServiceNet assists them to move from homelessness into other forms of housing, get their benefits or their work arranged and all that sort of stuff. And it's a real good transitional program. And that's what they do 12 months of the year. And then in the winter time, they get a special grant to open up an emergency shelter to keep people from freezing. So they need an overflow space. They currently have, I think, around 20 people who are in the regular program, but in the winter they need to be able to expand that. Homelessness is hard to gauge. There are probably 50 kids attending our high schools in Pittsfield who are technically homeless, who are couch surfing or something else. So that's a big number, but they're not included here. We also, of course, have women and children who are using the Elizabeth Friedman Center and other programs. But this is for the overflow population in the winter and the people who need to be transitioned into housing.
Now, some of these people are currently living at Springside Park here in Pittsfield. When do you expect they will be able to be moved into here?
Well, we're not exactly sure when this project will be completed. The city's regulatory process took much longer than we anticipated. It's hoped that by winter, this facility will be open. So ServiceNet is tentatively thinking, I believe, that they will keep Barton's open and this facility for the winter so that there can be socially distanced residents. The people in Springside Park, some of them are moving into the regular 12-month program, which is actually a 60-day program at ServiceNet, and others are not. And they will be the ones who would be eligible to come in during the cold months as emergency housing. And that program, I believe, starts around November 1st. But it depends on the grant that would have to come from the Commonwealth.
I see. Now, some of the people in Springside Park have told me that they were at St. Joe's and got forced out. Do you have any idea what happened at St. Joe's, why they decided to close that?
Oh, the city told them to.
The city told them to, okay.
Yeah. The ServiceNet had worked very hard to get it open and to run it on an express basis. And they were doing a very good job. They had a lot of referrals. The police would bring people to St. Joe's. And I think 98% of the police visits were to bring people to that program when it was open. They were in contact with the city, and the city asked them to close down. So they took 2 weeks, and they worked with the population that they had during that time and helped them find alternative arrangements. But of course, at the end of that period, other people started showing up at the program, and they formed the nucleus of the group that ended up in Springside. But I've been here 7 years, and every summer there are people, Burbank Park, there's a lot of camping going on up there that probably shouldn't be, but that's happening. And Springside and other places around town, around the city that are used in the warmer weather by people who have no homes. So it's more dramatic because we got to see it happen all at once. But we have this problem all the time. And this shelter cannot solve that problem. The problem is systemic. We don't have enough low-income housing. We don't have enough single occupancy units that are priced appropriately for people on government benefits. So we really need a citywide effort to deal with the broad spectrum of issues.
Do you have any thoughts as to why Pittsfield decided to shut down St. Joe's?
No, I don't. I wasn't part of that conversation. I just know that it was a city decision.
Okay. How do you see things going this winter? Do you think there's going to be enough capacity to help some of these people? And I assume that the sheriff is going to open up the 2nd Street facilities this winter as well. Any thoughts on that?
Well, most of the people from the streets that I know don't want to go to a jail. I think the sheriff is being very generous, and I really appreciate that. But they rarely will want to go into a jail facility, even if it's not a jail. The capacity of Barton's crossing has been approximately enough in the past, and the new shelter will be of equal capacity, although it will be a much better facility. And this winter, with social distancing, having 2 facilities, I suspect we can meet that same capacity in the city. What happens typically is that things get worse, colder and colder and colder. Some of those folks will come into the winter emergency shelter program. Some will find friends and relatives to camp out on their sofas. Some will leave. And there are diehards who, camp in the winter. That has been our pattern in the past, and I assume that it will be the same this year. It's really not the long-term solution is for us to address the broader economic and social issues that impact this population, to integrate addiction and mental health resources more effectively, and to bring more resources to bear. A lot of these are really wonderful, decent people, but they, especially now as we're going to experience a huge number of evictions and foreclosures. When that comes, you're going to find a lot of middle-class people who are suddenly homeless. And my experience is that middle-class people have no idea how to survive the way that the very poorest people know how. They know how to find food and how to find shelter and other resources. But when middle-class people are evicted, they're really helpless because they don't know what to do. So I really hope the city will take some steps in advance of that to prepare for what's coming.
Our last segment is about someone almost all of us have seen, but perhaps didn't know the full story. You have no doubt seen him running on the streets of the county. He has been called the Marathon Man, the Running Man, and Pittsfield's own Forrest Gump. Let's meet Sal Marinero. Sal, how long have you been running?
I've been running for about 40 years now.
About 40 years. And is that pretty much continuous every day, or
Every day, I'm out there running every day.
And how many miles did you start going, and what are you doing nowadays?
I do about 20 a day.
You do about 20 miles a day?
20 miles a day, yeah.
That's a pretty good distance. Now, someone told me that you actually do that in two sections, that you run for 10 miles and then go home and...
and then I do it in, and then I go out again after I have my dinner,
So you go at night?
Yeah.
And are you wearing anything for protective clothing? Like reflective?
Reflected shirt,
Reflector shirt. Now, have you had any close calls out there while you were running?
I've had a few, but I have to keep an eye on the cars that actually go by me, because a lot of them actually don't actually use their blinkers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so you might find yourself running into a car that's turning in front of you.
That's right.
That can be scary. Now, how did you get started in running, Sal?
I got started about with actually cousin Vinny and I, and we actually started running down in New Jersey, New Jersey Shore, and I got started down there, and I was about 70, 80 pounds heavier than what I am now, and
so you've lost quite a bit of weight in your running career.
Yeah.
And what's the highest number of miles you've done in a single day?
A single day, I did 59 miles. I ran all the way out to Cummington on a dirt road on 112.
My goodness.
On Route 112,
59 miles in one day.
Yeah, and back,
Now, that's like doing almost 2 marathons. Well, that's more than 2 marathons in a single day.
Mm.
Wow. Now, have you run in a marathon?
I've done only the local marathons around here,
No New York Marathon or Boston Marathon, just Pittsfield Marathon?
Yeah.
What's your favorite place to go running?
I think every place is where the beautiful scenery is. Wherever there's beautiful scenery.
Sure. Now, do you go running along the rail trail?
I've done that, yeah. I've done the rail trail, and I've done, I like to run on Route 8, was one of my favorite places, and a lot of people actually know me in Route 8, into Dalton. Yeah, one of
Route
my favorite.
8A or Route 8?
Yeah, Route 8.
Route 8 up towards Adams, North Adams?
No, the other one going in Dalton and Hinsdale.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
So 8 south.
yeah.
And a lot of people talk about the runner's high. As they run, they feel the endorphins kicking in, and they
Yeah.
feel great because of that. Is that one of the reasons why you are running so much?
Before, I used to get all that, yeah. And actually, after doing it for so many years, the runner's high is almost like a natural response.
Right. It's
Yeah.
always there when you run.
Yeah.
Have you had any injuries?
Well, I've had sciatica injury that was actually caused by a back injury. So I actually ran from Lenox into Pittsfield with sciatica pain. And that was quite an adventure for me.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Now, you told me in previous conversations that there was a special exercise you did to alleviate that.
Yeah, there is. It's a half sit-up where you're just laying on the ground and pushing yourself up with the stomach, the lower legs flat on the ground, and just lift the upper part of the body.
So like bending
with the hands.
backwards.
Yeah.
Have you done any running outside of Berkshire County other than when you were in New Jersey?
I've outside Berkshire County would be Hampshire County, and I've been in Hampshire County, which is in Worthington and Cummington. Cummington is actually Hampshire County also.
So
I've been to Savoy too.
Savoy.
But Savoy's still in Berkshire County though. Yeah.
You are how old now, Sal?
I'm 71.
71,
Yeah.
and you do about 140 miles a week.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. I can't believe you do that many miles in a week at age 71.
Yeah.
Now, do you know of any other runners your age that are out doing this every day?
I do not know.
A lot of times when I drive the roads in Pittsfield or nearby towns, I see you,
Yeah.
and lots of other people see you, and they honk the horn, and what do?
I give them the fist.
You give them the fist.
Yeah.
Keep on running.
Yeah, that's right.
You have an awful lot of fans out there. I once saw you in a picture with Adam Hines.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. How did you meet Adam?
Actually, I met him in the Crown Plaza. Well, it was the Crown Plaza back then, and he actually somehow he actually knew who I was, and I couldn't figure out, but a lot of people actually know me from being on Facebook and a lot of other places where I've been on. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Sal, do you have any other advice to other runners that want to do what you're doing?
Yeah, just keep motivated.
Keep motivated.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe and stay strong.
Thank you.